It's your perfume in the breeze.
Hi, welcome to Perfume in the Breeze. Thank you for joining Boone and I here by the pool. Today I have a very unusual fragrance to share with you. It is called Dehn Al Oudh Moattaq from the house of Ajmal. It comes in the most beautiful bottle, which I'd like to show you right away. It is shaped like, cut like a jewel, with a beautiful, beautiful stopper on top. I don't know how well you can see that. The bottle itself, absolutely stunning, heavy, nice stopper, beautiful on a countertop. Now, the fragrance itself is the main components are of course oud, rose, and undisclosed Indian herbs. It is I would say it is a unisex fragrance, but it is definitely erring on the masculine side. The name, Dehn Al Oudh Moattaq, forgive my Arabic, it's not a strength of mine, literally means fat of the wood, aged. So essentially the essence of oud matured. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and spray it and describe to you a little bit this unusual and distinctive smell. There are 3 concentrations available of this. There is a absolutely stunning pure oil version. There is this, which is the Eau de Parfum, and I believe there is another concentration as well. The pure perfume oil is very, very expensive. I think it's about under $600, but it's around 5 or above for a very small amount of oil. Of course, it's extremely concentrated. This, on the other hand, is 60 milliliters. This cost, I think, around 300 American. Now, the smell itself. It's kind of sour. Definitely the oud in there and everything coming together definitely is quite a sour smell, but also quite clean. I find this actually a good scent for the office, which is surprising for an oud. Perhaps your colleagues would disagree with me, but they're not my concern, you are. I wear this sometimes when I'm working or when I'm in a professional environment around other people, because I think it commands a certain air of professionalism and friendliness, but not overly friendliness. I think that a lady could definitely wear this and would smell quite extraordinary, but this really is, I think, a scent for men. Now, the ingredients, the components of it are fairly simple. There isn't too much more going on than really those 3 main elements. The herbs are very obviously herbaceous and green, and definitely have an exotic vibe to them. They're not a provincial herb garden. These aren't herbs that you'll find in you know, a French or English cottage garden. These are from far away, somewhere far away. There is rose in there, which I presume is like a gulab rose. I think this is an Indian oud. It has Indian herbs, and so I presume that it's a gulab rose. And the rose itself is quite hard to discern. In fact, it's it's there, but it's not an obvious rose. And and it's almost as if the petals themselves are green, so it's a very interesting rose. Now the oud itself is, of course, like I've said already, quite sour, but it's also quite leathery. It is Indian oud. It doesn't smell like a barnyard or the floor of the stables, but it does have an interesting animal quality, like a piece of beautiful leather. It's kind of honeyed. So it definitely has a medicinal vibe to it. If you appreciate medicinal ouds, such as perhaps many of them range by Montal, then you might find this very appealing. It's food!
Get back in there!
I've completely lost my train of thought. So, does this offer value for money? Yes, this does offer good value for money. Especially if you want something, a good fragrance for work. But my problem with this on the skin is that it remains fairly sour in a way that I would rather it became dry. And I don't find it lasts very long at all, and I don't think it's that I go nose blind to it, because I've had this right under my nostrils for quite a while now, and I'm still smelling it completely clearly with different nuances and reveals. But when I wear this on my skin, I find that my skin just eats it right up, and that I only notice it if I become very, very sweaty, and at that point in the day, I don't want to smell like this. I don't want to smell sour, and I don't want to smell medicinal. I don't want to smell of oud if ever I'm in a sporty position. I think this does work very well both in cold weather and in hot weather. I don't find myself going to it very often, so it's not something that I'm likely to repurchase, but the bottle is going to remain on my counter indefinitely. It's a very beautiful bottle, and I've used plenty of it, so I mean, this is definitely something I've gone to regularly over the 2 or so years that I've had it. All in all, this is very pleasant, and I think that I think it definitely commands a little bit of respect, a little bit of fear, at the same time as being quite friendly. I don't think that this is a sexy perfume. I don't think this is a perfume for wooing somebody or for romance. But if you are interested in fragrances that feature real oud, that are in a spray concentration, this definitely is clearly a real oud fragrance. It's very natural smelling. It definitely smells like all the components are, I guess, organic. I mean, it does not smell synthetic. And if you appreciate natural fragrances, and if you appreciate fragrances that are grounded in the earth as opposed to in a more abstract realm, this is definitely a product of precious things that the earth has provided. And I think that definitely it's very natural and green. Is apparent. So it's an interesting, sour, vegetable, and slightly animal composition. And I quite recommend it. I quite recommend it. And if you blind buy it and decide that it's not for you, it does make a very, very beautiful gift. And I think that's at the moment all I have to say on the matter. So I do some work for a company called Zhivago Brands, and I'd like to invite you to view their website. You can visit us at zhivagofragrances.com, and if you look down in the description, you'll see a discount code there should you wish to buy any of the Zhivago fragrances. If you are particularly interested in white musk fragrances, there's a fantastic fragrance that you will love called The Gift, so go and check that out. And if you've enjoyed this video, you're not under any obligation, but feel free to press like, you can press subscribe, or you can leave a comment. I'd be very interested to know your thoughts on this fragrance or any of the fragrances that I am reviewing from my private collection. Alright, well, I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.